What up everyone, it's your boy Xmanny87 here, bringing you another Marvel Legends wishlist video, and what I have for you today is my top Spider-Man wishlist of characters I want to see made in Marvel Legends to celebrate the 60th anniversary of Spider-Man. Before I get into everything, if you could please leave a thumbs up like rating on the video, it'll help show your support for my channel and I greatly appreciate it. Just want to say a big thank you to everyone who's reached out and showed me your support when I tested positive for COVID. It was a rough 3 weeks of recovery, especially since I already have pre-existing conditions. It was impeding my progress of recovery. But I'm feeling much better now, still have some cough lingering, but for the most part, I'm fine. Once I feel 100%, then I'll start reviewing again. It's annoying trying to talk and cough every 2 minutes. So lots of editing will be done here. I was supposed to have this video out for you 3 weeks ago, but again, I caught COVID and couldn't start on it. But the love you guys poured out for me was amazing. Over 500 comments or more with wishes of speedy recoveries and such. You guys are amazing. So from the bottom of my heart, you guys are the best. Thank you and love you 3000. So with this video, unlike the last Spider-Man video where I only restricted it to Spider-Man costumes, many of you asked me to do a wish list of characters in his mythos, from secondary characters to villains to so on and so forth. Everything is fair game here, from movies, comics, animation, Gamerverse, you know, all the good stuff. I really thought this through and I garnered up what I think to be a pretty solid list. Letting you know right now that my number one will throw you for a loop. You won't see it coming unless you really know me that well personally. But it's one I've been waiting for half my life. With the Marvel Legends Fan First Monday coming up on February 21st, 2022, let's see if we'll see any on this wish list of mine. Now, without further ado, let's go! First, let's start off with the honorary mentions. So I got a couple or three. So one is Overdrive. Can we get this guy already to complete the Superior Foes team? The last figure we got from that team was Lady Beetle back in 2017. This team should have been wrapped up that following year. It's been 5 years now and still waiting, so Hasbro, let's get on it. I love completing teams and therefore he's desirably needed. Another one is a Riot Build-A-Figure because we need to complete the Life Foundation, period. And CALYPSO, my god, just look at her. She's a whole damn series of a woman. I can see parts of her being useful too if they are ever planning on updating a Shauna the She-Devil, which would be nice to see since that character only got a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive release in 2008 as part of the Savage Land box set with Kazar and Zabu. I would love to see how Hasbro would tackle this, and since Kraven will be one of the main villains in Spider-Man 2 for PS5, as well as getting his own movie, there's a good chance we'll see some more characters related to Kraven. Gotta have Kraven's main squeeze besides him on display. Kicking things off at the number 10 spot, Aunt May. It's criminal that we have yet to get the most important figure in Peter Parker's life. Aunt May is long overdue and I could see her in some sort of civilians multi-pack. Maybe throw in a new Peter Parker and Uncle Ben, which could work. I know my buddy David Barry and I were tossing some ideas around with an Uncle Ben and the Burglar as a 2-pack. Some swappable parts can make it an army builder as street thugs for Spider-Man to fight. Maybe a family pack and include a J. Scott Campbell inspired Mary Jane. A swappable Felicia Hardy head would be cool with that. I don't see Aunt May selling on her own, but one thing's for sure, she's got to be released somehow. At the number 9 spot, I have SPIDERCIDE. We've had the Jackal figure for a while, and it'll be cool to get some of his crazy clones he's created, such as SPIDERCIDE. Something about this character's look was so cool. Maybe because he looked like Spider-Man on steroids? I could see him being a Baff in one of these future waves if they go with his oversized look. I think the Caliban Baff body would work, but he's got those heavy Nimrod-like looking legs. If they don't go with his oversized look as a Baff, then the Colossus Cyber AOA's Sabretooth body would suffice to fit a single card. No doubt he'll make my shelf look more interesting. At number 8, Ultimate Venom. Where are my fellow Ultimate Spider-Man fans out there? We need more Ultimate Spider-Man characters from the original run in the 2000s. With only the Vulture, Beetle, and Goblin Bath to go up against our Ultimate Spider-Man, the Ultimate display is sorely lacking and needs a big boost. Venom is my favorite Spider-Man character of all time, and I'll take all the Venom figures I can get. This should be an easy one. I mean, the Monster Venom Bath is the perfect base for it. The Venom logo doesn't need to be painted. All it needs is a new head. And if you want the look with the Venom logo on the chest, I guess you could just pop the head and put it on the last figure. I'd still want more characters from this Ultimate run, such as allies like Elektra, Black Cat, and Silver Sable. I think the only one we have right now is the Jessica Drew Spider-Woman. It's something they should roll out some more of. Plus, Venom always sells. I was going to put the Spider-Man 2 PS5 Gamerverse Venom here, but we only got to look at his face in the trailer and not the entire complete look. So I don't want to put something on my list that we haven't fully seen yet. Because what if I don't like the physique or something else about it? Can't talk about what I can't see. So for now, Ultimate Venom it is. Number 7, SHE-VENOM. A good way to follow after Venom would be his bride, Anne Wang, aka SHE-VENOM. We could use some more female symbiote characters. I think all we have is Scream and Gwenom. Scorn and Agony would easily make this list, especially Agony to round out the Life Foundation team. This should be another easy one to get. The Shriek body with some new hands and heads, and it's set from there. This will look beautiful side by side whenever they release the comic style Venom on the Omega Red body. A pivotal character needed for my Venomverse display. Number 6, Madam Web. I think this is one many Spider-Man fans have on their Marvel Legends wishlist. I think this is best to be sold as a premium deluxe and giving it the MODOK no window box treatment. I think it's the only way, as it would not work as a BAF in my opinion, since the size would be limited or restricted, being spread out throughout a wave. Not even the Rider series package would suffice. Going this premium deluxe route, you won't have to worry about size restriction because her roundish chair will need to be at the proper scale and should definitely take up some real estate on the shelf with all that mechanical webbing. Plus her squiggly skirt piece will also take up some space too. I wonder how they would execute her lower body. Not sure if they should go with a fabric material or stay with plastic. For accessories, I would definitely like to see a 90s animated series head and a default comic head. Also some swappable legs so we can have her standing for more display options. I think she would make for a great figure and serve for some amazing photography. Number 5, Tarantula. This figure needs a serious update, as the last one Hasbro did was okay at the time, but it's severely outdated. I bought quite a few of those figures just for the crate props. Getting one on an updated body with the likes of the White Suit 2099 body or maybe the Vulcan body actually would be very nice. Just don't want him to be on the Pizza Spidey mold, as I don't want him looking skinny like that. He's got to have his stingers on the tips of his boots. It would be cool if somehow we can get swappable lower calves to have a non-retracted look. The X-23 Wolverine figure, you had to pop them off, but it didn't look right as it's left with a big hole in her feet. She could have benefited from such a feature. Other accessories I'd like to see, some alt hands of course, but one in particular I would like to see is some splayed out hands with stingers on his fingertips. I think he's a cool character. I like that he's a Latino character, and it'll help bring some more diversity on my Spider-Man shelf. I enjoyed the comics I read of him and Spidey fighting each other. I thought they had some great battles. Number 4, Swarm. I'm still waiting for the day to see this one happen. When I had the 90s Toy Biz figure of him as a kid, I thought he was one of the coolest looking characters and figures in general. He had this almost translucent look, but the texture made it feel like he really had bees on him. He was in that Spider Force line that had this insect bee armor that you can display as just a big killer bee, which was a figure in itself, but also take it apart and armor up Swarm with it. I don't expect Hasbro to do that though, as that was one of Toy Biz's special kind of cool quirky gimmick features that they were well known for doing. I just love that figure and had a huge attachment to it, so I would seriously get stung by the nostalgia bug literally if Hasbro brought him to life. In this case, we should see some cool swarming killer bee effects for some killer accessories. An alternate head with some bee swirling popping out of his face would look crazy. Not sure if Hasbro will go translucent with their take or give it a nice paint job, but I'm sure they'll nail it either way. I think that Hobgoblin tattered cape will be used again on this figure. One thing is for sure, the rest of his body will have to be new from scratch. He's a really cool Spidey villain and always gave Spider-Man a tough time. I even had his trading card, so I really like the character. I think this would be a fan favorite for those who had that Toy Biz figure and are a fan of the character like myself. For my HASLAB spot, I'm giving it to Big Wheel. Yeah! What do you know about Big Wheel? Who wouldn't want to get 4 of these and replace their own car tires with this and drive on these big wheels? The greatest obscure Spider-Man villain of all time. We're talking Big Wheel, bruh. Psych. In all seriousness, I did consider this, as it would be cool to get a Jackson Wheel figure to drive it as a tier. Even a Rocket Racer figure would be a sellable tier. This was one of many Spidey HASLAB choices, but my most wanted would be, coming in at number 3, the Tri-Spider Slayer. This is one I'm dreaming hard about. The only way to make this possible is through a HASLAB project. I never had the Toy Biz one when I was a kid, but I've always wanted it. So to get one now would make up for not having one growing up, because I can enjoy a better one as an adult. Just going to show some images here from Toyshiz's channel. If you want to watch his retro review of this, then I'll leave a link in the description below. This was a combiner of the 3 Slayer bots, which were the Widow, Tarantula, and Scorpion Slayers. It's always fun to watch Spider-Man taking down mechanical bots, and this is something like the Sentinel, where we can get an army builder within an army builder for additional tiers. A few tiers I have in mind would be having some other mech-like Spider Slayers like the J. Jonah Jameson Slayer armor, maybe a Mega Slayer or the Cyber Slayers. Toy Biz did an Alien Spider Slayer, which would be cool and can be done here with all new tooling. An Alistair Smythe figure would be my number 1 bonus figure to have here, as it'll be a dope addition, or another one of his looks as the Spider Slayer from that Superior Spider-Man run. Maybe add his dad Spencer Smythe too. Another tier that would be amazing to go with Smythe would be his battle chair. Loads of potential here. Of course, this is another opportunity. They can put a new Spider-Man figure in here with a new costume, because Spider-Man always sells. Like the other Superior Spider-Man costume with the more classic look where he has black instead of blue. Coming with some tiny spider bots would be awesome to have. And I'd like to add, if they can also find a way to sneak in a Wing Bomber Goblin Glider for our Hobgoblin animated series retro figure, then even more nostalgic power to hold. Again, lots of potential here. At my number 2 spot, we have Martin Lee, aka Mr. Negative. When this character first appeared in 2007, he instantly became one of my favorite Spider-Man villains. He was the only thing I liked from that horrible Brand New Day Spider-Man comic run. Seeing him come to life in the Spider-Man PS4 game with all his glorious powers was an absolute joy. Such a great complex villain with a good backstory. For the execution, I'm hoping for a new pinless suited body, and also hoping for some butterfly joints on suited bodies, as this guy moves light years faster than a ninja and would make it easy for some posable sword wielding. With the price hike going from $22.99 to $25 in like a blink of an eye, I want to see every feature capitalized to the max. The one tricky thing that might be a con here is getting the swappable options for a powered up and powered down look. If there's a flesh skin tone paint exposed at the neck, it would look off when putting the negative head on. Unless they paint that part black to make it look like a turtleneck, but that's not the look he has. So in this case, 2 figures would have to be done separately to get a variant. I'm hoping the negative parts will be in a translucent black to try to capture the realism of his negative effects. I'd love for him to come with a vial of the dragon's breath inside for accessories, some black electric energy effects, and a charged up negative sword. The utmost way to complement this figure though would be releasing an Inner Demons army builder pack for him to command. We need serious army builders for Spider-Man. I love this character and I want to see more Asian representation in the Legends line. He was my favorite villain in the Spider-Man PS4 game. He stole the show for me.
Bonesaw is ready. I got you for 3 minutes. 3 minutes of playtime.
That's right, my number 1 is Macho Man Randy Savage as Bonesaw McGraw from the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man film. Spider-Man's professional wrestling origin is an important one to me. Growing up as a huge wrestling fan, especially in the early 90s, The Ultimate Warrior was the first wrestler to get me hooked into wrestling. But when my brother introduced me to his all-time favorite wrestler in the WWF, Macho Man, he became one of my all-time favorite wrestlers and is still one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. There was just something special about him. Sure, there was Hogan, Warrior, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, but Macho Man had this theatrical presence to him that I adored. Same presence carried over perfectly into the movie. He looked like $1 billion in the WWF and looked like $1 trillion in the movie, being in the best shape of his life. The wrestling gear was cool with the long tights and the singlets rocking black, silver, and red colors. I have an amazing WWE Elite custom figure of him that I put in my Marvel Legends collection. Thanks to my fam JVega0812 for customizing it for me. Give him a follow on Instagram as he does some great work. The paint job is stellar and doesn't scratch off with the flawless paint sealer he used. He did extend the hair, but I may ask him to do a new head sculpt for me to match more of his likeness from the movie as another option. So I don't really buy custom figures, and it takes a lot for me to want to spend it on one, but this was a must for me, so you can tell how bad I want this figure. Hoping Hasbro does one for a Spider-Man movie premium anniversary line like they did with the Foxman films 2 years ago. A folding steel chair and a crowbar accessory would be a neat touch since he used that in the cage match against Spider-Man. Alternate hands and heads would be needed too, especially alternate heads since Macho Man has many facial expressions. Maybe a 2-pack with the human spider wrestling gear for Tobey Maguire. That would make for a great sellable item. I know Bonesaw's comic counterpart goes by the name of Crusher Hogan, and that would be cool to get one day, but it's Macho Man, and I care about Macho Man way more than I do Crusher Hogan. I would enjoy taking a ton of pics doing wrestling action figure photography, pitting this Bonesaw against Spider-Man in a cage match. I had filmed a review for this figure back when I first started reviewing, but unfortunately the data got lost and I never got to upload it. So since it's in the lost archives, maybe I'll review this again someday if I'm up to it. Or hopefully the official figure comes out and I'll review that one instead. If you didn't see this one as my number one, then I told you, you didn't see that coming. Bonesaw McGraw is my dream figure for the Legends movie line. Now I kick it back to you. The great thing about my list is that it's not definitive and you can always write your list in the comments below. I'd like to see your list, so let me know what you would want to see. It's going to be a great Marvel Legends year for us Spider-Man fans. Comment below, let me know, we'll chat about it. Alright, that was my Spider-Man characters wish list, so please follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. Link is in the description below. Hit the notification bell so you always know when my latest videos are up. Share and subscribe if you're new. See you on the next video. Peace, peace.